This week on Buckeye News Now, the Medical Center will see changes in leadership as they celebrate 100 years.
And an altercation at the RPAC questions Buckeye D entrance security.
Plus, a change in the student employee policy and melting snow on campus could bring flooding.
All that and more right now.
You're watching Buckeye News Now. I'm Alexandria Chapin.
And I'm Cassida Tiro, in for Alex Bacani. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center will be stepping down from this position by the end of December 2014. As announced in an email from Interim President Joseph Aludo, Dr. Steve Gabby will leave this position sooner if a successor is appointed before December. Dr. Gabby will continue his position as Senior Vice President through June of 2015. And another shift of position at the medical center, as the current Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, Jeff Chattis, will take the position of the university's Senior Vice President for Optimization and Integration and Medical Center Chief Transformation Officer, which will be effective March 1st. And the current Vice President for Business and Finance Operations, Chris Devine, will be promoted to Deputy Chief Financial Executive immediately.
3 men were reported for assault at the RPAC on February 9th during a game of basketball. The investigation unveiled that 2 of the men involved were not Ohio State students, leading questions to how they gained entrance into the facility. Ariana Bernard has more on this story.
The courts usually used for a friendly 2-on-2 basketball game recently transformed into a fighting ring as an argument over the occurrence of a foul led to a physical fight. The fight occurred Sunday, February 9th around 5:30 p.m. here at the RPAC, and some blood was shed before bystanders were able to break up the altercation and notify police. Injuries between the 3 men involved included a 1-inch cut between the eyebrows, a broken right front tooth, bruising and swelling of the upper cheek areas, and cuts to the hands and fingers, according to the Ohio State Police report. A primary aggressor could not be determined after investigation, which prevented Ohio State Police from charging any of the individuals. 2 of the 3 men involved were not Ohio State students and gained entrance using another OSU student's Buckeye D. According to OSU Student Life spokesman Dave Isaacs, events like this do not happen very frequently.
This is an extremely rare occurrence. There hasn't been anything even vaguely like this in the last 5 to 10 years here with Student Life recreational sports. So this sort of thing does not happen very often at all.
The events have not brought up a huge concern and instead serve as a reinforcer of safety.
This is a good reminder to redouble our efforts to make sure that we are properly checking Buckeye Ds, that the students who work at the desks are ensuring that the right Buckeye D is going with the right person in order to ensure the safety of the patrons here at Student Life Recreational Sports.
The 3 men were referred to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office should they wish to pursue charges. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Ariana Bernard.
For students graduating this spring, a new policy change will let you keep your job on campus through the summer. Previously, students that graduated in the spring could only work through the May term, but the recent graduates can now keep their jobs until the last day of finals for the summer term.
When we transitioned from quarters to semesters, we realized that having students only being able to work through the end of the May semester was negatively impacting business needs. So we've updated the policy so employees can maintain their student employee status through the end of the summer term. That allows them to work over the summer and meet some critical business needs. We realized after we transitioned to semesters that the way the policy was written before, just changing quarter to semester didn't quite work.
We're seeing warmer weather on campus this week that we haven't seen all year.
And we may go from wearing winter coats to rain boots. Let's go to our Buckeye TV meteorologist, Mackenzie Bart.
Thanks, Alex. Actually, with the temperatures warming up, we've seen the piles of snow around campus starting to melt. This has issued a flood watch for parts of Ohio. I'll have more on that in your 5-day forecast coming up.
1 in 4 college women will be sexually assaulted during their college career. Ohio State has resources in place for those who have experienced sexual violence on and off campus, as well as efforts to combat sexual violence.
As we know, nationally, sexual violence occurs very frequently on college campuses, more than most people might think. So the common statistic that is out there is that about 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted by the time they graduate. And we also know that about 1 in 33 men are survivors of sexual violence at some point in their lifetime as well. What we do is try to empower an entire community to look out for signs and red flags, to know good strategies and skills for intervening, and to stop these bad things from happening. Because we live in a culture where a lot of times people look the other way or see these things as a miscommunication, or think of it as, oh, they're just being college kids, or oh, boys will be boys. And that's not true. Our team has created a bystander intervention program, which we call Buckeye's Got Your Back, which really teaches students how to identify situations that could lead to sexual violence, helps give them the skills to actually intervene safely, and wants to provide them with the resources to get people connected on campus.
Ohio State announced this week that they have received $275,000 from a Signet Enterprises licensing deal. According to Columbus Business First, this is the largest payment the university has received for a licensing deal. Ohio State licensed healthcare data analytics software to the Akron-based company. The university and the medical school will both receive royalties and have an equity stake in the company as a part of this deal.
When we come back, OSU students raise money with a marathon.
And we've got sunny skies with your full 5-day forecast.
Plus, adorable puppies being nursed back to health right here at OSU. Don't go away. Welcome back. Buckeye-thon took over the Ohio Union Valentine's Day weekend with their annual dance marathon. The amount of money raised for Nationwide Children's Hospital surpassed their goal of $750,000 and left participants flooded with emotion during the closing ceremonies. Brooke Sayre has more on this money-making marathon.
Just hours ago, this entire room was filled with students who helped raise more than $700,000 for Nationwide Children's Research Hospital.
Buckeye-thon took place at the Ohio Union, where more than 3,000 students participated to fundraise a minimum of $100.
I'm just in awe right now of our student body. I'm in awe of the love that they have, the willingness that they have to commit to something better.
We pulled off an amazing dance marathon, hit our goal of $750,000. I felt incredibly proud to know that the work I've done, but more importantly the work that everybody else in this organization, in this community did, how we're able to reach such an amazing goal, not just a number on paper, but something that, you know, is like all the miracle children and their families have represented all weekend, but actual lives that we're saving as well. So
this weekend was a big roller coaster of emotions. We all had our arms linked around each other from the beginning of opening ceremonies, and no one really knew what to expect. It went up, and I think all of our knees just kind of dropped because we had been standing for a really long time. It was just a really special moment, I guess.
It was an overwhelming, emotional night for families, students, and fundraisers. From Buckeye TV, I'm Brooke Sayre.
Ohio State's College of Medicine celebrates their 100th anniversary this year. The college was established in 1914 with William Means as the first dean of the college. The medical school was ranked number 38 for the best research school and number 24 for the best in primary care by the U.S. News and World Report Medical School Rankings.
The College of Medicine is very excited to celebrate 100 years of providing the next generation of healthcare providers to the state of Ohio and beyond. We really are proud of our many accomplishments over the course of this 100 years and really are looking forward to the future.
The price of a college degree will only be worth the money until year 2086. According to a report from Hamilton Place Strategies, the benefits of a college degree outweigh the costs until 2086. The report looked at the earning data of college and high school graduates and compared this with the average cost of tuition and other fees, and also projected the increase in cost through the years. In year 2086 is when the overall cost of tuition will be higher than the average earning salary.
In this next story, we see an adorable puppy that is getting back on 4 feet. With a little help from Ohio State, Logan Hickman has more.
Meet Moki. He's your typical 3.5-year-old French bulldog. He loves people, he's high energy, and at times, he can be a little bit stubborn. Recently, Moki has been spending his days at Ohio State's canine rehabilitation facility after having a little trouble.
He had a spinal cord injury that was essentially a slip disc that was compressing his spinal cord. Our neurology service evaluated him, did some imaging, found the area of compression, and did surgery.
Since his surgery in late December, Moki has been working with Dr. Sue and her team using state-of-the-art techniques to get Moki strong again.
One of the most utilized tools in veterinary rehabilitation is the underwater treadmill. Obviously, you've seen that they're walking and we can adjust the level of the water. And essentially, it's a tank that has a treadmill on the bottom. We can fill the water depending on how much support we want to provide to them. And it allows us to, for the dogs that are paralyzed, to give them some kind of buoyancy to their body weight, so that if they have a little bit of strength and a little bit of motor function, that we can see that happening and assist them in their gaiting as they're moving.
Veterinary assistant Marcella Kimmick says working to rehabilitate dogs is her dream job.
Yeah, we get to know them more well. It's a lot of fun. They get attached to certain people and certain things with them.
Now, the good news for little Moki is that about 6 to 8 more weeks of this therapy, he should be almost as good as new.
And he's stronger with regards to being able to walk without falling as frequently. He still has a ways to go. My expectation is that he'll continue to see us twice a week for the next probably 4 to 8 weeks.
For Buckeye TV, I'm Logan Hickman.
Next, we'll go to our Buckeye TV meteorologist for our full forecast.
Mackenzie Bart has more on this nice weather and what we'll be seeing in the upcoming days. Mackenzie?
Thanks, Alex. With the temperatures warming up and that storm that we just saw coming through last night, we are experiencing some localized flooding, but thankfully that rain is going to stop this afternoon. Around 10 a.m. we can see a chance of rain, but by 3 p.m. we are seeing mostly sunny skies, a high temperature of 45 degrees, so those warm temperatures are going to stick around. Something, though, that we want to pay attention to are the wind speeds. As you see, for the 3 p.m. hour, we're looking for southwesterly winds 19 to 21 miles an hour, so it will be a breezy day. Heading into nightfall, a temperature of 38, mostly clear skies. Also, there will be a strong breeze coming through then. Looking at our national radar, you can see as that storm is pushing off into the east. That brought us localized flooding. You even saw some thunder and lightning last night. But back in Ohio, we are experiencing some clear skies. Looking at our surface map, you can see that storm as it's formed here by this warm and cold front meeting with this low pressure system. So that cold front brought in all that precipitation, but it's moving off into the east now. Friday night, a low of 30 degrees, mostly clear skies. Winds from the southwest, 10 to 13 miles an hour. That strong wind will continue on into tomorrow. For Saturday, a high of 45, mostly cloudy skies. Now let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Saturday, a low of 26. Sunday, high of 34, low of 20. Those cloudy skies will continue on into Monday. Monday starting off a high of 30 degrees, low of 16. Tuesday, we are looking at the chance of some snow flurries. High of 26, low of 16. It is going to be quite chilly. As you see, our lows are starting to drop off, especially on Wednesday, a low of 14, high of 30, sun coming back out for Wednesday. That's your Buckeye News Now weather update. Back to you guys in the studio.
When we come back, we're joined by our sports director, Franz Ross.
He has a full campus sports report.
Stay with us. Welcome back. We're now joined by our sports director, Franz Ross.
Thanks for being with us, Franz.
Thanks, Tessa. Alex, This weekend, OSU added another national championship to its resume. The men's basketball team squared off in Champaign, and baseball resumed in Florida. Here to recap this week in OSU athletics is our sports reporter, Jordan Elwood.
The Ohio State men's tennis team is at its best start to a season in program history, capturing the title national champs as they won their first ITA national team indoor championship title. The then number 5 ranked Buckeyes took down 3rd ranked USC Monday night 4-1. The Buckeyes defeated 4 top 25 teams and 2 top 5 programs, and now sit at the top with a 13-0 record. Senior Peter Colbelt was named Big Ten Athlete of the Week for his play in doubles with Kevin Metka. The 2nd-ranked duo in the country went 4-0 over the weekend. The Buckeyes travel to South Bend this weekend to take on Notre Dame. Men's basketball defeated Illinois this past weekend in a very low-scoring game, winning 48-39. The Buckeyes managed to hold the Illini to 28.3% shooting. Despite a slow start and trailing at halftime, Ohio State managed a scrappy win thanks to Aaron Craft's 14 points and the team's 10 steals. The Buckeyes' season is winding down with just 3 home games left. Northwestern and Minnesota are up next. Women's ice hockey split the series last weekend against Bemidji State, losing the first game 4-1, but battling back the next night to take a 3-1 victory. In the win, senior Allie Tarr tallied her 100th career point. 8 Buckeyes were named WCHA Scholar Athletes, and the team remains at 5th in the WCHA, rounding out their regular season with a weekend series at home against North Dakota. The men's wrestling team held the NWCA National Duels and managed to finish 3rd. Number 13 ranked Ohio State dropped its semifinal match to top-ranked Minnesota 25-10, but they were able to bounce back with a 23-16 win over Oklahoma. The Buckeyes now improved to 12-5 overall and 4-4 in the Big Ten. They will host Virginia Tech this weekend at St. John's Arena. Ohio State baseball opened their season at the Snowbird Classic with an 8-2 win over Connecticut and slid past Auburn 1-0, but couldn't defeat Indiana State, losing 7-3 in the first game and 8-6 in the second. Junior pitcher Ryan Riga was named co-pitcher of the week after tossing a 6 shutout innings in the win over Auburn. The Buckeyes travel to Orlando, Florida for the UCF tournament, taking on UCF, the Citadels, and Oklahoma. For all your winter and spring sports news, make sure to like Buckeye TV on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Jordan Elwood.
The U.S. men's hockey team will maintain their quest for gold as they move on to the semifinals after a 5-2 blowout victory against the Czech Republic. Their winning in the quarterfinals against the Czechs comes off the heels of America's big win against Russia on Saturday in the preliminary round. In a disappointing loss for the host country, Russia lost again on Wednesday to Finland, who will move on to the semis to play Sweden on Friday. The other semifinal will involve the battle of the North American countries in the U.S. and Canada, who will also face off on Friday.
That's all we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Thanks for watching.